The topic is hypertension. In practice, you try to understand there are so many complicated definitions and the description is given in the books of medicine. For example, if you open the Davidson medicine or if you open the API textbook of medicine, you will find so many pages regarding this hypertension. But I am giving you the information which is must to know in your practice. Dr. Deshpande's all lectures will be based on this principle only. That is must to know. If you know this information, definitely you can practice very well at a general level. I'm not saying you may be the consultant over there, but as a general level, maybe Ayurvedic, maybe allopathic, you can practice very well. Regarding the hypertension, especially about your exam, when we talk about exam, the problem or the discussion will start, questions will start from basic physiology. So the examiner will ask you, define hypertension, or rather define the blood pressure. This problem is basically of blood pressure. So definition of blood pressure, it's a lateral pressure exerted by the blood on the lateral walls of the blood vessels. Rather, it's the pressure of blood exerted on the lateral wall. Okay. So this is the definition of blood pressure. On which factors blood pressure is dependent? This will be the second question. There are two important factors which is not mentioned in the slide: cardiac output and peripheral resistance. Cardiac output and peripheral resistance, your BP is dependent on. In peripheral resistance, there are four factors. In peripheral resistance, there are four factors. Number one, velocity of the blood. Number two, viscosity. There is a difference. Velocity is the speed and viscosity is a ghanata, density. Velocity, viscosity of the blood, then lumen of the blood vessel. Lumen. If it is atherosclerosis, the lumen will be small. So peripheral resistance includes number one, velocity of blood, viscosity of blood, then lumen, and the fourth one is the wall of the blood vessel. How is the wall? If it is an arteriosclerosis in the old age, arteriosclerosis that we have already discussed, hardening, roughening of the blood vessels, that is always there in the old age. So after 60, you will find systolic blood pressure is high. Remember. But when you want to diagnose the hypertension, you must concentrate on only and only diastolic blood pressure. These words are very important. For diagnosing hypertension, you must look to the bottom value, which is 80 mm of Hg. And when you want to diagnose opposite, hypotension, HYPO, hypotension, the common man call it as a low blood pressure. Low blood pressure is diagnosed on the upper value, that is systolic. Normally it is 120 mm of Hg. If that 120 number goes below 60, then only you can say it is hypotension. There is very much misconception about the hypotension. We will talk about hypertension, but write down some lines on the hypotension because I have not prepared the slides of hypotension, low blood pressure. There is a misconception in the mind of people, in the mind of doctor, and they use very casually. Doctor, I am having the weakness. That doctor said me that I am having low BP. Wrong. Don't say it in front of the patient, but in your mind, you forget. That has no value. When the patient complains, doctor, I am having weakness, he is a very moving person, not bedridden person, and he is saying, I am having the low BP. What does he mean? त्याला डॉक्टरनी काय सांगितलं असेल? 120-80 च्या ऐवजी in spite of 120 तुमचं 100-70 आहे. 100/70. Is it a low BP? No. Remember Dr. Deshpande's word. Low BP means systolic 120 number should go below 60 mm of Hg. So whenever the person casually talks, casually, I am having low BP, low BP. Just counseling him, oh, say, okay, we will take care. Don't say you are wrong, you are foolish. Don't say like that. Always you should speak very sweet words with the patient. You say, okay, I will check, no problem. We will raise your blood pressure. But that is not his scientific word. Remember, my low blood pressure is a serious only 120 number goes below 60, and that can occur in any condition of shock. Write down this word, low blood pressure in shock, SHOCK, is very important. It can be fatal. There are only 2-3 examples I will give you. There is a road accident, lot of blood has gone, head has broken, lot of bleeding was there. Patient has brought to your consulting clinic or whatever hospital, and if you find his blood pressure is 60/40, it's a dangerous. It can be fatal because it is a hypo or hemolytic lowering of the blood pressure or hemorrhagic blood shock. It is called as a hemorrhagic shock. It's not hemolytic, it's a hemorrhagic shock. If the patient is admitted or come to your clinic, old person, azoba, grandfather, and he has a lot of diarrhea, loose motions. Last day he has a gastroenteritis, contaminated food. And if you check his blood pressure, you check his elasticity. He's a dehydrated patient, elasticity has lost, and blood pressure is 60/40. Oh my God, it's a serious. That is called as a hypovolemic shock. Hypovolemic shock, it's a serious. Can be die, patient can die. Third incident I will tell you about. I am talking about low BP, not hypertension, low BP. Third case. By chance, doctor has given without testing the injection, penicillin, injection B1, neurobion, thiamine, only B1, thiamine. Actually, neurobion is a B1, B6, B12, but I am talking about thiamine. Patient is anemic, and you are giving injection Jectofer, Jectofer, Jectofer is an iron injection, iron. Penicillin, neurobion, Jectofer, these injections, if given without testing it, AST, after sensitivity test, AST, then patient can have itching, vomiting, unconscious, drowsy, fall down. You check his blood pressure. If it is 60/40, my God, he has got anaphylactic shock. What is the condition? ANA-PHY, anaphylactic shock. Patient can die, remember. So in any shock, the patient, hypotension is a danger condition. And that is decided by on systolic. Okay. Now we will talk more about hypertension today. In this hypertension, diastolic is more important. Normally it is 80 mm of Hg. But here, what precaution you should take? Number one, whenever you examine the patient, best thing, you must check the blood pressure in a lying down position. Not in sitting position, not standing, not after exercise. That is all for your journal. First year journal, last year journal. But in clinic, many doctors examine by sitting, but that is not correct. Blood pressure should be checked in lying down position. Doctor should stand on the right side of the patient. Very important. Always you should be right side of the patient. Then you apply the cuff on the right arm, unless and until some exception, but always on the right side. There is not much significance, but better way on the right side. Next, You should have the dial sphygmomanometer or digital sphygmomanometer when you go for the visit at the patient. That is most important. Third thing, hypertension should not be diagnosed in one reading. The patient comes to you, you check the blood pressure and it is little bit high. That means 140/100. Let it be, let it be. Don't shout. Don't tell the patient immediately, oh, doctor, see, you have the hypertension. No, that is wrong. When you want to diagnose the hypertension, you must check the blood pressure minimum for 3 days. Minimum for 3 days. At the same time, first day, the patient comes to you at 10 a.m. morning. Second day, 10 a.m. Third day, 10 a.m. That means 10, 10:30, it's okay. But one day in the morning, one day in the afternoon, one day in the evening, no, not at all. Same condition should be maintained. And if it is found that all the 3 days he has a consecutive record of high side, then yukti praman. Don't give the shock to the patient. Remember my words. First thing they get shocked. Oh my God, I am having hypertension. Now all the whole year I have to take the BP tablet. So don't make him afraid. Tell very skillfully. This time, another time with the relatives. All consideration. Do you have the stress? What you are doing? Do you have any problem, headache, etc.? Everything is normal. Then convince him. I found that you have little bit problem of BP, but it will be get reduced. Don't worry. So assurance is most important for the hypertension patient by diagnosing. Now, these are the 3 conditions. Mild hypertension. You must remember these figures. 9. Excuse me, but you may find there is a little bit here and there. In Davidson, it is something different. In API textbook is different. American Society of Cardiology. Some of your clever students, clever teachers, you say, oh, what Dr. Deshpande is telling you, he is wrong. In 2020, there is some different criteria. Forget about it. Remember, these are the must to know. These are the basic things. One figure here and there doesn't make any sense. So mild is always 9 to 110, moderate 110 to 130, but this is severe. These patients, better way, should be admitted in the hospital or should be sent to the consultant if it is consistently severe. Remember my words, consistent, not only one time. I think I have shown you this figure, so I will go fast. We have also talked, but this is one way of the assuring of the patient. You tell him that BP is there. You should not take it, that means serious, but also you should not take it casual. But because some people, oh doctor, don't worry, I don't bother if I have hypertension. Convince him 1 day, 2 days. Write down this word. This is silent killer. There are 2 or 3 diseases. One is hypertension. Another is a diabetes mellitus. Diabetes mellitus. What is meant by silent killer? They will not make you what you can say murder or the dead in 1 day. No. Slowly and steadily, they will damage your internal organs slowly and steadily. There may not be external symptoms. Patient is happy. He is not measuring blood pressure, not going to the doctor, enjoying his life. And one of a bad day, he may lost his eyesight. Shock, oh my God. And then if you find the history, patient was diagnosed 3 years back for hypertension. And he took the treatment sometimes. Moreover times, no treatment and not bothering. Doing all the mischiefs in his life. Not control on the diet, not control on the lifestyle. So you must understand this hypertension and diabetes can damage your internal organs, and one day you will land into such a trouble that cannot be reversible. This is the problem. That cannot be reversible. This is most important. One day, all of a sudden, he finds edema all over face, okay, on the legs, on the face. Then he go to the doctor and consultant say, do your basic investigations, like you do the blood sugar, hemogram, urea, creatinine, kidney function test, urea, creatinine. And then found, oh, in spite of 20 milligram percent urea, is 60, 80. And then sonography. And then it is found that is one kidney has been failed up. Only dialysis. Why? Origin was in hypertension. Origin was in hypertension. Brain, I am telling you very, very real story which has occurred in my life. Unfortunately, that was a family patient. Family patient. That means one day I had a call of a lady. I am making a drama because you must understand. Then I understood that some voice is danger and the patient is in serious. And that was the mother of my, I don't know, the wife of my brother. Okay. So I, sister-in-law. So immediately I took her or asked her to come to her house. And when I entered, when I make a bell, that lady fell on my hand, on my body. I lifted her. I found out, okay, something has been wrong. Immediately we come down because she was on the first floor. We took the rickshaw and took her to the Dr. Shirish Hireman, Dr. Shirish, cardiologist. Then we found she was moreover pulseless. We immediately go to the Deccan Shirish Praya Hospital. While entering, he said, the patient has been died. When we find out the history, because it was a relative, it was understood after a few days, after a few months, that that lady had not taken her BP tablets for nearly 4 days only. No tablet at all. BP tablet, no. Why? The shops were closed at that time, like this coronavirus. So now the shops are open, but at that time, something was happening, shops were closed. She has not taken the medicine. This was one case. And another I remember, I will not tell you, this is also my friend's wife. She was admitted in the Pune hospital. So if the hypertension patient did not or do not take the medicines regularly or stop all of a sudden, there are a lot of chances of brain hemorrhage. Remember my words. Brain hemorrhage may take place if you stop BP tablet all of a sudden, without consultation. And if you have the moderate and severe hypertension. So there is artery. You must write down the name of the artery. Main artery, you know, carotid artery. But there is a branch. We have learned in a dorsal column tract in the first year. Okay. So there, the name is a Charcot, C-H-A-R-C-O-T, Charcot artery, very small artery. And that usually breaks and hemorrhage starts and the patient die because of brain hemorrhage, hypertension complication. I am talking about complication. Why this is a silent killer? Why you should be very precious about regularity in the tablets. Okay. So now we will go for the causes, because as you know, what is the advice of Ayurveda? The first step in any management of any disease, don't forget this step, Sanshepataha Kriyayogo Nidana Parivarjanam. Sanshepataha Kriyayogo Nidana Parivarjanam. In short, what is management according to Ayurveda or for all the sciences? Try to avoid the causes, try to remove the causes, try to cure the causes. So 3 things again. Try to avoid, try to remove, or try to cure the cause, basic cause. Now this is about hypertension. Most of the hypertension is idiopathic. This is the problem. What is the meaning of idiopathic? Cause not known. Cause not known. This is modern. I am talking about allopathy, not Ayurveda. But here you can have the benefit of Ayurveda. Whenever you see that allopathy is saying idiopathic, we can definitely find my experience, find the causes as per Ayurveda. Vata prakopak ahar vihar. Write down this word. In hypertension patient, you will definitely find Vata prakopak ahar vihar, or sometimes Pitta prakopak ahar vihar. There must be irregular lifestyle, hectic lifestyle, mental stress, always there. Then this is called as a primary hypertension, when there is no cause, allopathy says. Then only 10% cases or 5% cases, secondary hypertension. So two types of hypertension: primary, or it is also called as essential hypertension. Primary or essential. And this is secondary hypertension. That means root cause is something different. For example, here you can see there is a problem in the kidney. Kidney vessels are blocked. Like coronary artery blockage, there can be renal artery blockage, renal artery stenosis that can be detected even by, again, sonography or angiography. Remember my word, angiography. Then there may be cause in the liver. So you must do the sonography to see whether there is a cirrhosis, portal hypertension, and you have to do the liver function test. Like we already discussed something, albumin, SGOT, SGPT, alkaline phosphatase, all these things. Then you can also do the 2D echogram, 2D echo, to rule out the valvular problem. If there is a mitral stenosis, aortic stenosis, tricuspid stenosis, write down all the names of the valves. These valves are narrow. Narrow is the stenosis. There are again three words. Write down three more words. Mitral regurgitation. Tricuspid regurgitation. That blood is coming back. Aortic regurgitation. REGURGITATR. Coming back. Usually valve is meant to unidirectional flow, but because of the obstruction, the blood is coming back. So you can detect all these things when you do the 2D echo. Then there may be problem in the thyroid gland. Another cause for the hypertension, hyperthyroidism. Another cause for hypertension. So what you can do? T3, T4, TSH. T3, T4, TSH. T3, T4 will be high and TSH will be low because of the negative feedback mechanism. I have already discussed about renal function test, urea and creatinine. You should not forget to do in each. These investigations you must do. Must do. Remember my words. Why? You will ask, sir, there is no cause. Yes, I know. But when you remove the probability of all other causes, there is no liver problem, there is no kidney problem, there is no thyroid problem, everything is normal. Then what you will say? Okay, there is no cause behind, so that is idiopathic. This is called as a, when we say idiopathic, diagnosis of exclusion. Write down this word. Diagnosis of exclusion. EXCLUSION. What does it mean? We have removed all the probable other causes of secondary hypertension, and that's why I am saying now it is a primary hypertension. Okay, so this is the case over there. For any hypertension patients, the most important statement, you must do the ultrasonography of abdomen and renal angiography. Like coronary angiography, you should not forget renal angiography is in the hypertension patient. If you don't do it, and if you by chance the patient goes of its own to the consultant, or you refer to the consultant will definitely do this. Consultant will definitely do these all the tests. So why not the general practitioner should do? We can do it. And then if at all we have difficulty, we can refer. I think this picture you can see very well. This is the thickening of the wall. LVH, left ventricular hypertrophy. I think you remember my action. Once again, I will show you once more of action. When I do the weightlifting, my bicep becomes big, develop my muscle. Similarly, ventricular contraction, more exercise, so that becomes thick. What is the cause of LVH? This is my question. What is the cause of LVH, left ventricle. Why? Because there is a chronic hypertension. It will happen only in the chronic not in the acute. Only patient is suffering from 2 years, 4 years, 5 years, that will happen. Okay. My dear friends, our discussion may stop at any moment. So kindly excuse me and be ready for that matter. If it is finished, we will continue tomorrow. Now the treatment. First, mild hypertension. Basically for mild hypertension, don't use any specific medicine. That is the best policy. In Ayurveda, it is called as, very interesting, write down, adravya chikitsa. Very interesting. The word is from Ayurveda, adravya rupa chikitsa. You are not using any herbal medicine, herbo-mineral, Ayurvedic, allopathic, no medicine. Then how it can be controlled? This is the word. Only you have to do lifestyle management. जीवन शैली विषयक मार्गदर्शन, मराठी जीवन शैलीचे मार्गदर्शन, दिनचर्येचे मार्गदर्शन, ऋतुचर्येचे मार्गदर्शन, प्रकृतीनुसार आहार विहार. Everything you must do for mild ailment. The diastolic is 90 to 110. Then ask the patient to reduce the stress. That is called as a stress management program. To reduce the stress management program. What you can do? Meditation, different relaxing yoga postures. Remember 2 yoga postures: stretching yoga postures and relaxing yoga postures. Like Shavasana, relaxation. Makarasana, relaxing posture. Om, relaxing. Anulom Vilom Pranayam, relaxing. Okay, so all this is a reduced stress management. Most important, Lavana Varjit Ahar, control over the salt. Very little salt that you must use. Always the question will be asked in your examination, why Lavana Varjita? Because this is hygroscopic. Salt is always absorption of the one molecule of NaCl or salt is taken some one H2O molecule. And so interstitial fluid, there is accumulation of fluid in the body which is called edema, and then peripheral resistance increases, cardiac output increases, and BP is developed. Because salt is hygroscopic. Salt is retaining water. Remember my word, salt is retaining water. Where is the salt? Look here. Pickle, loncha, papad. Everywhere there is salt. Fast food, Maggi, fast food. Salt is there. And preservative foods like wafers, churmure, kurmure, all this should be avoided. Okay. I think for moderation we will see tomorrow, but we have completed mild. So here also there is a treatment policy. Deep fried food should be avoided. High calorie food, oil should be avoided. And unsaturated oil. For example, sunflower oil you can use, unsaturated. The word is unsaturated oil. Regular walking is very much important. But you can see on the screen, very important, collateral circulation. In examination, you must tell to the Khobragade madam, Doshi madam, why walking? Why walking? Collateral circulation is developed. Reduced weight. Patient is overweight, reduce the weight. And stop all vices, habits, alcohol, tobacco, and cigarette. And one Ayurvedic tablet, write down Rasagandha tablet. If at all you want to give prescribe very simple herbal tablet, then 2 tablets. Tablet Dhamasa. Tablet Dhamasa, single herbal tablet. Or the compound drug from Ayurveda Shala Pune, that is tablet Rasagandha. So my dear friends, this is all for today. And I wish you all the best. Please take care of yourself. And tomorrow we will continue. So thank you very much.